Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of United States Roosevelt dimes. Their value, iconic design, history, hidden treasures, and the surprising stories behind seemingly ordinary coins. In today's video, we're exploring 3 Roosevelt dimes. The 1997 P. Roosevelt dime, the 1998 P. Roosevelt dime, and the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime. First glance, these coins may look completely ordinary. Some may be dirty, scratched, dark, discolored, or show unusual shades of silver or other colors because of circulation, storage, or environmental exposure. But sometimes, the smallest details can make a coin worth taking a second look at. Could one of these Roosevelt dimes contain a genuine minting error, an unusual variety, or an exceptionally well-preserved condition that attracts collectors? That's exactly what we're going to explore. We'll look at the history and design of the Roosevelt dime, the importance of P and D mint marks, coin condition, unusual color and surface characteristics, genuine mint errors, and the factors that can influence collector and auction market value. And there's one very important thing to remember. Not every Roosevelt dime from these years is rare, and a P mint mark alone does not make a coin valuable. The exact condition, variety, error, authenticity, and collector demand all matter. Also, be careful when you see dramatic claims about ordinary coins being worth thousands or even millions of dollars. An online asking price is not the same as a verified sale. Real market value should be based on comparable coins and documented auction results. So before you spend that old Roosevelt dime, stick around because you might be holding a coin that's worth taking a much closer look at. Now, let's begin with our first coin, the 1997 P. Roosevelt dime. First coin, welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of United States Roosevelt dimes, and our first coin is the 1997 P. Roosevelt dime. At first glance, this little 10-cent coin may look completely ordinary, but when you examine it carefully, you may discover details that make it interesting to collectors. So the big question is, could a 1997 P. Roosevelt dime with unusual damage, color, or condition actually be worth more than its 10-cent face value? Let's take a closer look. The Roosevelt dime has a fascinating place in American coin history. The design honors Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the dime has carried his portrait since 1956. The obverse features Roosevelt facing left, while the reverse displays a torch surrounded by an olive branch and an oak branch. These symbols represent ideas such as liberty, peace, and strength. Now, our focus today is the 1997 P. Roosevelt dime. The letter P identifies the Philadelphia Mint. When you find a small P on a Roosevelt dime, it tells you that the coin was produced at Philadelphia. But here's something extremely important for new collectors. A P mint mark does not automatically make a coin rare. Millions of ordinary Roosevelt dimes were produced, and many remain in circulation in collections today. So if you discover a 1997 P dime, don't immediately assume it is a rare treasure. Instead, examine the entire coin, look at the date, look at the mint mark, look closely at Roosevelt's portrait, examine the lettering, turn the coin over and inspect the torch, olive branch, oak branch, and surrounding details. Then carefully examine the rim and the surfaces. This is where things become interesting. Some 1997 P dimes can show scratches, dents, discoloration, stains, dark areas, unusual shades, or other signs of circulation. A coin may look very different from a freshly struck example because it has spent years being handled, stored, transported, and circulated, but unusual appearance does not automatically mean valuable rarity. For example, imagine finding a 1997 P dime with a deep scratch across Roosevelt's face. That may look dramatic, but if the scratch happened after the coin left the mint, it is generally considered post-mint damage, not a valuable mint error. This distinction is one of the most important lessons in coin collecting. A genuine mint error is created during the manufacturing process. The two can sometimes look similar, especially to someone who is new to collecting. That's why you shouldn't make a value judgment simply because a coin looks strange. Now let's talk about the condition of our 1997 P dime. Condition can have a major effect on collector interest. A heavily circulated coin may show scratches, contact marks, worn details, and surface damage. A highly preserved example can have much sharper details and fewer imperfections. When a coin is in exceptional condition, collectors may be willing to pay more than they would for a common circulated example. This is why professional grading can be important for potentially valuable coins. However, not every 1997 P dime needs to be professional graded. For a normal circulated coin, grading may cost more than the coin is worth. Professional authentication and grading become more relevant when there is a good reason to believe the coin has a significant error, recognized variety, or exceptionally high grade. Now let's discuss something that often attracts attention online. Silver color. Many people call older-looking Roosevelt dimes silver dimes, but we need to be careful. The standard 1997 Roosevelt dime is not one of the classic US silver Roosevelt dimes struck for circulation. The regular 1997p circulation dime was produced with the modern copper-nickel composition. So if your 1997p dime looks silver, shiny, dark, grey, golden, reddish, or unusually coloured, don't automatically assume that it contains silver. Colour alone does not prove precious metal content. The appearance of a coin can change because of lighting, circulation, environmental exposure, tunning, chemical reactions, or other surface conditions. That's why identification is so important. Now let's talk about damage. Suppose your 1997p Roosevelt dime has a dark surface. Maybe it has black spots. Maybe there are reddish or golden areas. Maybe the rim is damaged. Maybe there are scratches across the fields. Maybe the coin has been bent or dented. These characteristics can make the coin visually interesting, but they don't automatically increase its value. In fact, serious collectors often prefer coins with original, undamaged surfaces. So if you discover a potentially valuable Roosevelt dime, here's the most important advice. Do not clean it, don't polish it, don't scrub it, don't use vinegar, don't use harsh chemicals, don't try to make the coin shine. Cleaning can permanently alter the coin's original surface and may reduce its desirability to collectors. Instead, handle the coin carefully by its edges and keep it in a safe holder. Now let's move to the question everyone wants answered. How much could a 1997p Roosevelt dime be worth? The honest answer is that there is no single value that applies to every 1997p dime. A normal circulated example is generally a common coin and may be worth around its face value. But the market can be different for a coin with a genuine mint error, recognized variety, exceptional grade, or other significant collectible characteristic. This is why you should never believe a huge price claim simply because someone posted a photograph online. An online seller might list a dime for thousands of dollars, but an asking price is not proof of value. A real auction result is much more meaningful because it shows what a buyer actually paid for a comparable coin. And even then, you need to compare the exact characteristics. The same date and mint mark do not guarantee the same price. One coin could be circulated and damaged. Another could be exceptionally preserved. Another could have a genuine mint error. Another could have been altered after leaving the mint. These are completely different coins from a collector's perspective. Now let's imagine you discover a 1997p Roosevelt dime with an unusual feature. What should you do first? Don't clean it. Second, take clear photographs of both sides. Third, photograph the unusual area from several angles. Fourth, inspect it under good lighting. Fifth, compare it with reliable numismatic references. And if the feature appears genuinely unusual and potentially valuable, consider having it examined by an experienced coin dealer, numismatist, or professional grading service. This can help determine whether the feature is a genuine mint error or simply damage. Now let's talk about demand. Coin values are influenced by supply and demand. A coin can be old and still be common. A coin can be relatively modern and still become collectible if it has an important error or variety. Age alone does not determine value. The date alone does not determine value. The mint mark alone does not determine value. Even the color alone does not determine value. Collectors look at the complete story of the coin. And that's what makes coin hunting so exciting. We're not simply looking for old coins. We're looking for unusual coins with evidence behind their uniqueness. Now think about the 1997p dime you might have sitting in a drawer. Maybe it looks dirty. Maybe it's dark. Maybe it has unusual color. Maybe the surface has scratches. Maybe it has a strange-looking rim. Instead of immediately assuming it's rare, ask yourself what caused the unusual feature. Was it created at the mint? Did it happen during circulation? Is it environmental damage? Is it a recognized variety? Could it be a genuine striking error? These questions can lead you toward a much more accurate value estimate. And remember, if someone tells you that every 1997p Roosevelt dime is worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars, be skeptical. There are extraordinary coins that can command extraordinary prices, but that does not mean every example from the same year has that value. The market is based on the specific coin. Now, let's talk about the historical appeal of the Roosevelt dime. The series has been collected for generations. Collectors study dates, mint marks, varieties, errors, condition, and composition. That means even a relatively modern dime can be an interesting piece of American numismatic history. The 1997 dime is part of that story. It represents an era of American coin production and the continuation of one of the country's most recognizable circulating designs. And that's something worth appreciating, even if your particular dime turns out to be worth only 10 cents. Because coin collecting isn't just about finding a fortune. It's about learning, it's about history, it's about craftsmanship, and it's about discovering the details that most people never notice. So before you spend that 1997p Roosevelt dime, take a second look. Check the date, check the P mint mark, examine Roosevelt's portrait, inspect the lettering, look carefully at the torch and branches on the reverse, study the rim, check for unusual mint-made characteristics. And if you see something genuinely unusual, don't clean the coin.
Oh, gold
Protect
ਜਿਹੜੇ
it
ਦੋ
and get
ਲੈਣਾ ਲੈਣਾ
professional
ਨੱਪਤਾ
opinion. The most important lesson from today's video is
ਦੋ
simple.
ਲੈਣਾ
A
ਲੈਣਾ
1997 P. Roosevelt dime is not automatically rare just because it has a P mint mark or an unusual appearance. Its potential collectible value depends on the exact condition, authenticity, variety or error, and demand in the collector market. So keep your eyes open, keep learning. And don't underestimate the small coins that pass through your hands every day. If you enjoyed this first coin in our Roosevelt Dime series, make sure you subscribe to change your life, turn on notifications, and stay with us for the next coin. Because coming up next, we're looking at another Roosevelt Dime that could have its own interesting story. Thanks for watching, keep searching your change, and I'll see you in the next coin adventure. Second coin, welcome back to Change Your Life.
जल्दी आमी वापस
Today, we're continuing our journey into the fascinating
second तो
world of
पहले
the
आना है।
United States Roosevelt Dimes. And this is our second coin in the series, the 1998 P. Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, this 10-cent coin may seem like ordinary pocket change. But what if your 1998 P. Roosevelt Dime has unusual damage, strange coloring, an interesting surface, or a genuine minting error? Could it be worth more than its 10-cent face value? Could an unusual example attract serious attention from collectors? And what should you look for before you
चल
spend
बंद
it?
कर जल्दी कर
Let's take a
no,
detailed look at this fascinating coin. The
जल्दी आमी
Roosevelt
वापस
dime has been part of
चले
American
जाओ
coinage since
एक
1946.
सेकंड तो पहले
The
आना है
obverse features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, while the reverse features a torch surrounded by an olive branch and an oak branch. The design is instantly recognizable, and millions of Roosevelt dimes have passed through American commerce. Our focus today is the 1998 P. Roosevelt dime. The letter P indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. But there is an important fact you need to remember. A P Mint mark does not automatically make a
चल बंद कर
Roosevelt
जल्दी कर
dime rare.
ओ तो ना
Millions of coins can share the same date and mint mark.
जल्दी आमी वापस
Rarity depends on the
चले
specific
जाओ
characteristics of the individual
एक
coin.
सेकंड तो पहले आना है
So when you find a 1998 P dime, don't just look at the date and mint mark. Look at everything. Start with the date. Then examine the P mint mark. Look closely at Roosevelt's portrait. Inspect the lettering. Check the rim. Turn the coin over and study the torch, olive branch, oak branch, and surrounding lettering. Then look carefully at the surfaces. This is where the investigation
चल बंद कर जल्दी
becomes
कर
interesting.
ओ तो ना
The 1998 P. Roosevelt dime can show signs of
जल्दी आमी
circulation
वापस
such as scratches,
चले जाओ
dents, contact marks,
एक
dark
सेकंड तो
areas,
पहले आना है
discoloration, or unusual surface colors. But here's an important distinction. Not every unusual looking feature is a mint error. Some features are caused after the coin leaves the mint. For example, if your dime has a scratch across Roosevelt's face, that may simply be circulation damage. If the rim is bent, it may have happened during handling. If the surface is discolored, environmental exposure may be responsible.
चल बंद
If
कर
the
जल्दी
coin
कर
has dark spots,
ओ तो ना
chemicals or storage conditions may have changed the surface.
जल्दी आमी वापस
These characteristics
जाओ
can make a coin interesting, but they
एक
don't
सेकंड तो पहले आना
automatically
है
make it rare. Now let's talk about what collectors really want to find. Collectors pay close attention to genuine mint errors and recognized varieties. A mint error is created during the manufacturing process. That could involve a problem with the plant chip, die, striking process, or another stage of production. The important thing is that the feature must be connected to the minting process. That's why identifying the cause of an unusual feature
चल बंद
is
कर
so
जल्दी कर
important.
ओ तो ना
Imagine finding a 1998 P dime with an
जल्दी आमी
unusual
वापस
raised area.
चले जाओ
You might immediately
एक
think
सेकंड
this
तो
must be
पहले
a
आना
rare
है
error. But don't make that conclusion too quickly. The feature could be a die characteristic. It could be damage. It could be contamination. It could be a strike-related issue. Or it could be something completely unrelated to the minting process. This is why serious collectors study coins carefully. Now let's talk about condition. Condition is one of the most important factors
चल
when
बंद कर जल्दी
evaluating
कर
a collectible
ओ
coin.
तो ना
A heavily circulated 1998 P
जल्दी
dime
आमी
may have
वापस
worn details,
चले जाओ
scratches, contact marks,
एक
and other
सेकंड तो पहले आना है
A highly preserved coin can have much sharper details and fewer surface marks. The The difference can matter greatly to collectors. This is why professional grading exists. A professional grading service can authenticate a coin and assign a grade based on its condition. But remember, professional grading isn't necessary for every dime. If you have an ordinary circulated 1998p dime, the grading cost may be greater than the coin's market value. However, if you believe your coin has an important mint error or exceptional condition, professional evaluation may be worth
एक
considering.
सेकंड तो पहले आना है।
Now let's address another common misunderstanding. Many people call Roosevelt dimes from different years silver dimes simply because they look silver colored. But a modern 1998p circulation Roosevelt dime is not one of the classic silver composition Roosevelt dimes. So don't assume that a silver-looking 1998p dime contains silver. Its color is not enough to determine its metal composition. Lighting, circulation, tunning, environmental exposure, and surface changes can all affect appearance.
जल्दी आमी वापस।
This is especially important when you find a dime that looks
एक
unusually
सेकंड तो
bright,
पहले आना है।
dark, grey, golden, reddish, or otherwise different. Unusual color can be interesting, but it does not automatically mean the coin is rare. Now let's talk about damage condition. Imagine finding a 1998p Roosevelt dime that looks heavily damaged. Maybe it has scratches. Maybe there are dents. Maybe the surface is dirty. Maybe it has dark spots. Maybe the rim has been
चल बंद
damaged.
कर दे लेकिन।
These
Oh,
features
no,
may
no,
tell you
in-
something about the coin's journey through circulation.
जल्दी
They
आमी
normally
वापस।
do not create
फिर
additional
जाऊँ।
value.
एक
And that brings
सेकंड तो
us to
पहले
one of
आना
the
है।
most important warnings in today's video. Never claim a potentially collectible coin. Do not polish it. Do not scrub it. Do not use chemicals. Do not use abrasive materials. Do not try to make an old dime look brand new. Cleaning can leave permanent marks and alter the original surface. If you believe you have a potentially valuable coin, preserve it in the condition you found it. Handle
चल
it by
बंद कर
the
दे लेकिन।
edges.
ओ तो
Keep
ना
it protected. And photograph it before doing
जल्दी आमी
anything
वापस।
else.
फिर जाऊँ।
Now let's discuss the question
एक सेकंड तो
everyone
पहले
wants
आना है।
answered. How much is a 1998p Roosevelt dime worth? The answer depends on the exact coin. A normal circulated example is generally common and may be worth around face value. But an authenticated coin with a genuine mint error, recognized variety, or exceptional condition could attract greater collector interest. This is where the auction market becomes important. You should never use an unrealistic online asking
चल बंद
price
कर दे
as
लेकिन।
proof that your
ओ
coin is
तो ना
valuable. Someone can list a dime for
जल्दी आमी
$5,000.
वापस। फिर जाऊँ।
That doesn't mean someone will pay
एक सेकंड तो पहले आना
$5,000.
है।
A verified completed auction is much more useful because it shows an actual transaction. Even then, the comparison needs to be accurate. The same year and mint mark are not enough. You need to compare the same or very similar error, variety, condition, and certification. This is why one spectacular auction result should never be used to claim that every 1998p Roosevelt dime is worth thousands. The coin
चल
itself
बंद कर दे लेकिन।
matters.
ओ तो
Now
ना
let's imagine you've discovered something unusual on your
जल्दी आमी
1998p
वापस।
dime.
फिर जाऊँ।
What should you do?
एक सेकंड तो
First,
पहले
don't
आना है।
clean it. Second, photograph both sides. Third, take close-up photographs of the unusual area. Fourth, use good lighting. Fifth, compare your coin with reliable numismatic information. And if the coin appears genuinely unusual, consider showing it to an experienced coin dealer or professional numismatist. If the potential value is significant, professional authentication and grading may provide additional
चल बंद कर दे
confidence.
लेकिन। ओ तो
Don't
ना
rush to sell. Don't accept an enormous or
जल्दी
tiny
आमी
price
वापस।
without understanding
जाऊँ।
what you actually have.
एक सेकंड तो
Take
पहले
your
आना है।
time. Research is part of the fun. Now think about the history of this little dime. It may have been produced at the Philadelphia Mint in 1998. It may have traveled through thousands of transactions. It may have been carried in someone's pocket. It may have sat in a cash register. It may have been stored in a jar for years. And eventually, it ended up in your hands. That journey is part of what
चल
makes
बंद कर
coin
जल्दी कर
collecting so
ओ
fascinating.
तो ना इन
Even if your 1998 P dime
जल्दी
turns
आऊँ
out to be
वापस
a normal coin,
किधर जाऊँ
you've still discovered a small piece
एक
of
सेकंड तो
American
पहले
history.
आना है
But if you find a genuine error or an exceptionally preserved example, the story can become even more interesting. Now let's review the most important points. A 1998 P Roosevelt dime is not automatically rare because of its P mint mark. An unusual color does not automatically indicate rarity. Damage does not automatically equal a mint error. A silver appearance does not automatically mean silver
चल
content.
बंद कर जल्दी कर
And an
ओ तो
online
ना
asking price does not automatically equal market value.
जल्दी आऊँ वापस
Instead,
किधर जाऊँ
collectors look at the complete picture.
एक सेकंड तो पहले आना है
They consider the coin's authenticity, condition, variety, mint errors, rarity, certification, and collector demand. That's how responsible coin valuation works. So before you spend your 1998 P Roosevelt dime, give it another look. Check the date. Check the P mint mark. Examine the portrait. Study the lettering. Inspect the rim. Turn it over. Look at the torch and
चल
branches.
बंद कर जल्दी कर
Check
ओ
for
तो ना
unusual features. And if something seems
जल्दी
genuinely
आऊँ
different,
वापस
preserve the
किधर
coin
जाऊँ
and investigate it further.
एक सेकंड तो पहले आना
The
है
real excitement isn't simply finding a coin that someone claims is worth a fortune. The real excitement is discovering why a particular coin might be different. That's what turns pocket change into a collecting adventure. And if you enjoy these fascinating coin discoveries, make sure you subscribe to Change Your Life, turn on notifications, and stay with us for the next coin in our Roosevelt dime series. Our next example has another date, another story, and another opportunity to
चल
learn
बंद कर
what
जल्दी कर
collectors look for.
ओ तो ना
So keep checking your change.
जल्दी
Keep
आऊँ
your
वापस
unusual coins
किधर
safe.
जाऊँ
Never claim a
सेकंड तो
potentially
पहले आना है
valuable piece. And always verify the facts before believing a huge price claim. Thanks for watching Change Your Life, and I'll see you in the next Rare Coin adventure. Third and final coin, welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're continuing our journey through the fascinating world of United States Roosevelt dimes, and this is our third and final coin in this series. Our focus is the 1999 P Roosevelt dime, a coin that may look like ordinary pocket change, but one that can become much more interesting when you examine its condition, surfaces, mint mark, and possible mint-made errors. So, could your 1999 P Roosevelt dime be worth more than 10 cents? Could an unusual error or exceptional condition make it attractive to collectors? And how can you tell the difference between a genuine mint error and ordinary damage? Let's take a closer look. The Roosevelt dime is one of America's most recognizable circulating coins. The series began in 1946, honoring former President Franklin D. Roosevelt. On the obverse, Roosevelt's portrait faces left. On the reverse, you'll find a torch surrounded by an olive branch and an oak branch. These details aren't simply decorative, they are part of the symbolism and identity of the Roosevelt dime series. Our coin today is the 1999 P Roosevelt dime. The small P mint mark tells us that this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. But don't make the mistake of thinking that a P mint mark automatically makes a coin rare. A huge number of Roosevelt dimes were produced during this period, and ordinary examples remain common. The real question is whether your particular 1999 P dime is something unusual. That's why the first step is careful examination. Start with the date. Make sure the coin really says 1999. Then inspect the P mint mark. Look at Roosevelt's portrait. Study the lettering. Examine the rim. Turn the coin over and inspect the torch, olive branch, oak branch, and surrounding details. Then look carefully at the entire surface. You might discover scratches. You might see dents. You might find dark spots. The coin might have a brownish, reddish, grey, golden, or otherwise unusual appearance. But remember, an unusual-looking coin is not automatically a rare coin. This is one of the biggest lessons for anyone beginning to collect. A coin can look strange because of what happened to it after it left the mint. For example, a scratch across Roosevelt's portrait may have happened during circulation. A dent on the rim could have occurred after the coin was struck. Dark discoloration could result from environmental exposure. Chemical contact could change the surface. These characteristics are generally considered damage rather than valuable mint errors. Now let's talk about the difference between damage and a genuine mint error. A mint error is created during the production process. It can involve a problem with the plant chit, dye striking process, or another part of manufacturing. Post-mint damage occurs after the coin enters circulation. This difference is extremely important. Imagine you discover a strange raised area on your 1999p dime. It might look like a major error, but before celebrating, you need to determine how that feature was created. Was it actually produced during striking? Could it be a dye-related characteristic? Could it be damage? Could it be a contaminant? Could it have been caused by another object? The answer can make a major difference in collector interest. That's why experienced collectors don't simply look at a coin and guess. They investigate. Now let's talk about condition. Condition can have a major impact on the market for collectible coins. A heavily circulated 1999p dime may have worn details, scratches, contact marks, and other imperfections. A coin preserved in exceptional condition may have sharp details and clean surfaces. The better preserved example can be much more attractive to collectors. For coins that may have significant value, professional grading can help establish condition and authenticity. But don't assume every 1999p dime should be graded. For an ordinary circulated dime, the cost of professional grading could exceed its value. Grading becomes more relevant when there is a strong reason to believe the coin has a valuable error, recognized variety, or exceptionally high grade. Now let's clear up another common misconception. Many people refer to Roosevelt dimes as silver dimes simply because the coins have a silver-colored appearance. But the standard 1999p circulation Roosevelt dime is not one of the classic silver composition Roosevelt dimes. So if your 1999p dime looks bright silver, grey, or unusually shiny, don't automatically assume it contains silver. The coin's appearance alone cannot establish its metal composition. Color can be affected by lighting, handling, storage, tunning, environmental exposure, and surface alteration. A dark dime isn't automatically rare. A golden-looking dime isn't automatically rare. A reddish dime isn't automatically rare. And a shiny dime isn't automatically rare. What matters is the evidence behind the coin's characteristics. Now let's discuss the damage condition that many collectors encounter. Suppose your 1999p dime is scratched. Maybe it has a large mark across the surface. Maybe the edge is bent. Maybe the coin has dark spots. Maybe it has strange discoloration. Maybe it looks dirty after years of circulation. These characteristics can certainly tell a story about the coin's journey, but they usually don't create additional value. And that's why I want to give you one of the most important warnings in this entire video. Do not clean your potentially valuable coin. Don't polish it. Don't scrub it. Don't use abrasive materials. Don't apply household chemicals. Don't try to make the coin look brand new. Cleaning can permanently change the surface and may reduce collector appeal. If your 1999p dime looks dirty or discolored, preserve it exactly as you found it. Handle it carefully by the edges. Keep it protected. Take clear photographs. Then research it. Now let's answer the question you've probably been waiting for. What is a 1999p Roosevelt dime worth? The answer depends on the exact example. A normal circulated 1999p dime is generally a common coin and is typically worth around its face value. However, an authenticated example with a genuine mint error recognized variety, or exceptional condition can be considerably more interesting
पिछले
to
रत्ते नाप दे
collectors. This is where the auction market becomes important. You may see online listings claiming enormous values for Roosevelt dimes. But remember, an asking price is not the same as a selling price. Anyone can list a coin for a huge amount. The more useful evidence comes from documented completed sales of comparable coins. And even an auction result must be interpreted carefully. If a particular 1999p dime has a
पिछले
rare
रत्ते
error
नाप दे
sells for a substantial amount, that does not mean every 1999p dime is worth the same amount. The error grade, certification, rarity, and demand all matter. This is why responsible collectors compare the exact coin rather than simply comparing dates. Now let's imagine that you have found an unusual 1999p dime. What should you do? First, don't claim it. Second, take photographs of the obverse and reverse.
पिछले रत्ते नाप दे
Third, take close-up photographs of the unusual feature. Fourth, examine the coin under good lighting. Fifth, compare it with reliable numismatic references. And if the coin appears genuinely unusual, consider having it examined by an experienced coin dealer, numismatist, or professional grading service. If you believe the potential value is substantial, authentication can be especially important. Don't rush to sell. Don't accept a random price.
पिछले
And
रत्ते
don't
नाप
assume
दे
a social media post proves anything. Research first. Now let's think about the history behind this coin. Your 1999p Roosevelt dime may have entered circulation more than 2 decades ago. It could have traveled through stores, cash registers, vending machines, pockets, wallets, and collections. Perhaps someone put it aside because they noticed its unusual appearance. Perhaps it was simply forgotten in a jar. And now it has ended up in your hands.
पिछले रत्ते नाप दे
That's part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Even a common coin can carry a story. But if your particular coin has a genuine mint-made error, the story becomes even more interesting. A production mistake can create a coin that differs from the millions of normal examples. And collectors sometimes compete for those unusual pieces. That's why careful examination is so important. Now let's review the most important points about the 1999p
पिछले रत्ते
Roosevelt
नाप
dime.
दे
First, the P Mint mark identifies the Philadelphia Mint. Second, the P Mint mark by itself does not make the coin rare. Third, unusual color does not automatically mean valuable. Fourth, damage is not automatically a mint error. Fifth, the modern 1999p circulation dime should not be assumed to be a silver composition Roosevelt dime simply because it looks silver-colored. Sixth, condition can influence collector interest. And
पिछले रत्ते
finally,
नाप दे
actual market value should be based on the specific coin and verified comparable sales, not exaggerated online asking prices. So if you have a 1999p Roosevelt dime, take another look before spending it. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Study Roosevelt's portrait. Inspect the lettering. Look carefully at the rim. Turn the coin over. Examine the torch and branches. Look for characteristics that appear to have been created during the minting process. And if you discover something genuinely unusual, preserve the coin and seek expert advice. The real excitement of coin collecting isn't simply finding a coin that someone claims is worth a fortune. It's discovering the evidence that explains why a particular coin is different. That's what turns ordinary pocket change into a fascinating treasure hunt. And remember, not every coin will be valuable. That's okay. Every coin you examine teaches you something. Every unusual mark gives you a chance to learn. And every collector starts somewhere. If you enjoyed this third and final Roosevelt dime in today's series, make sure you subscribe to change your life, turn on notifications, and keep watching for more videos about rare United States coins, Roosevelt dimes, Lincoln cents, Washington quarters, mint errors, varieties, and fascinating coin discoveries. Before you spend your next old-looking dime, stop for a moment. Look closely. Check the
Içeride
details,
40.
protect anything unusual, and always verify the facts before believing an unbelievable price claim. Because sometimes the smallest coin can tell the biggest story. Thanks for watching Change Your Life. Keep searching your change, keep learning about coins, and I'll see you in the next coin adventure.